talk about corsages and boutonnieres made out of artificial flowers. What's nice about this is that it becomes a gift. It's perfect for weddings because grandma gets to keep her corsage, mom gets to keep her corsage. It's a little memento, a gift. And what's nice is you can do these ahead of time. You don't have to worry about them wilting. So we're going to do some silk corsage and boutonnieres, and I'm going to give you some of the tricks of the trade to make it easy. This is an example. You can do a mixture of flowers. I, a lot of times, will do white or ivory just because then you don't have to worry about what everybody's wearing. The boutonnieres for groom, you want to match whatever bridal bouquet flowers you use, but here's an example of like a white rose with a little bit of accent that would be great for a groom. Here's one that would match maybe a groomsman, something a little bit different. But we're going to start with a corsage. So we've got some flowers. We've just clipped off a bush. You can get little cheap bushes, or you can do some nice quality silks. The quality, obviously the better quality silk flower, the more it's going to look like it's real, like you're not even going to realize that it's artificial. And there's a big quality difference. A lot of the internet package deals you get are going to be more like this, a little bit cheaper. You can see threads and things like that. So it's up to you as to how much you want to spend, what you want the end result to look like. We did the bridal bouquet earlier with very high quality silks. It makes it look real. So it's up to you and your budget. But we clipped some of the flowers off this cheap bush. We're going to take each individual flower now and wire it, because the stems that come on a silk flower generally are too thick. You don't want a big heavy corsage. So you're going to trim it off with a wire cutter. Then you're going to use some floral wire and some floral tape. And you're going to twist on new stems, basically, that are much thinner. And you can do it in white or green tape. This is high quality floral tape, very important. Sometimes you can get this at the craft stores and it's not quite as good of quality. It's very thin, hard to work with. I would suggest going to your flower shop, or we do have this on weddingflowersdiy.com. It's the good quality stuff, makes it a lot easier. So then you're going to continue. Again, take the wire, take the tape. You pinch the tape around. It doesn't have adhesive, so you're going to use the heat of your hands and twist that around. And as you pull tight, it kind of melts to the stem. And go all the way down. And we're going to do a mixture. Usually corsages take about 3 to 7 flowers, just depending on the size. I generally like 5. Odd numbers do look better. Even numbers tend to draw your eye into the center, and odd numbers tend to flow. So you want nice flow. So we're going to use 5 flowers, and it's also good to use different sizes, buds, open blossoms. You can add color. I mean, this is where you get to play, because if you don't like it, you can take it apart and start again. It's very easy. So we've got our flowers wired. Oh, one more. We're going to do a bud. And you're going to use a fairly thin gauged wire. Again, we have different wire thicknesses just depending on what you're doing with it. This is a thinner wire for corsages. You would use a thicker wire for bouquets. So we have our bud. We're going to add one of our flowers. We're going to add a 3rd flower. And basically make a little bit of a pyramid there. Then you're going to tape it off. Now you're going to steal some leaves. You usually come on your silk flowers. This is like a artificial rose leaf. Trim that so it's nice thin stem. Place it behind the flowers. Give it kind of a base. And then we're going to wrap those leaves behind there. So we've got the start of a corsage. If you wanted a small corsage for like grandma, you could just stop there and add a bow. You would have basically that for your corsage. We're going to add a few more flowers, but I'm going to put the bow in the center. I tend to like them in the center, but you can put them at the base as well. All personal preference. So we've taped the bow on there. You get pre-made bows at craft stores, or again, Wedding Flowers DIY has them available. And again, just tape those on. Now, it's up to you. There's a couple different ways you can do corsages. You can use wristlets, you can use pins, or you can use magnets. Magnets are nice, come with a little back stem. You just tape that onto the back of your corsage, and then a magnet base goes on and it clips like that so that you don't have any holes in your fabric. So you would just tape that on to your corsage, or the traditional corsage is using just a corsage pin. So you would just tape that bottom all the way down. Now we don't need obviously this long of a stem, so we're going to trim that off. Pinch the tape down around the base and then just wrap that up. So now we have a basic corsage that we then can use a pin to pin onto the dress. And again, you've got nice little keepsake for mom and grandma. Now we're going to do a boutonniere. Same thing. We're going to kind of match this bouquet here. These come sometimes too big. Obviously, that would be a pretty large boutonniere. So we're going to trim off the buds at the top. We're going to use this little base flower and another little bud. So we're going to take our base flower, I'm going to add a stem to it, and I think we're going to do green tape for this to make it look a little more natural. So we're going to wrap that green tape around the stem, give it a new thinner stem to work with. Then we have the buds that we're going to add to it. This makes it a little more compact than the way it was originally made. A little more boutonniere size. You don't want anything too big. Most men prefer simple. And you can add the other little bud if you want, or you can leave it at that stage. And you can use multiple types of flowers. You can add little accents. You can add twine, twigs, whatever theme your wedding is. You can add little flowers to make it look a little different. You can add just some different types of greenery. We're going to use, again, you find leaves all on your different types of flowers that you get. Again, the bushes that you buy, it's got all sorts of different leaves. This one actually has some ivy leaves that we can steal. So we'll cut a few of those off. Place it behind the flower to make it kind of like a nice little base. Just biggest thing is getting that tape very tight and pulled very taut. Okay. We cut off our stem. Use our little boutonniere pin, and then we have a boutonniere. And so we have a mixture of different, you can use different elements. Like this one, we use little buds. I actually used petals off another flower and just taped it around the bottom. And that's what's fun about artificial, is you can really play, because it's not going to hurt the flower, obviously. You can misshape it and twist it and turn it, and it's not going to be harmed. So, and when we talk about corsages too, we talked about a wristband. A lot of the wristbands come with metal clips. So after you've made your flower, you can just use the clips to clip around the base of the flower, and then you have a wristlet. So very easy, and very easy to customize it towards your wedding. So I hope you got some great ideas, and hope to see you again. Thank you.